I'm getting older. You guys just need to think that I needed somewhere to sit down.
You letting the old man in?
Going with the old man in. Yep, exactly right.
Coach, how exciting is this day just seeing some of your former players and obviously current players chasing their pro dreams?
Well, it is. The 22 years we've been here, these last 8 to 10 have been really fun because we spent the first 12, trying to win, building facilities and doing this. And so for me, it's like probably the funnest day that I have because you get all the older players. I think I have counting wives, a group of 80, some coming to my house tonight. And they come back and support, and then seeing all these guys, these young guys, try to fulfill their dreams. I mean, it's part of the deal, not just get a college degree, but also get an opportunity, possibility to fulfill their dreams. And so, it's whatever we can do to help them do that.
We get bigger and bigger every year.
It just depends on the year. It depends on what team they're in. So some of the new when they change coaches, they go back a year. It's like Andy can't be here tonight because they got a new head coach, so that they come back a week early. And some guys like that, and plus they're getting older. I think Jerry has his son has his first basketball game. He's like 5 or 6 years old that he's never is going to be in. So those are the fun stories. They come over here a lot. They come to watch practice because they all live in the area. And it's like I saw Marcus over there. His wife's getting ready to have a little one here any day, and so they don't have him tonight. By the night, then he'll be over, and not, then we know what's more important. So making sure that they're safe and doing things. So watch them grow up and listen to them talk when they come back in the office, how their life's going. And whether to be honest with you, tomorrow we have Letterman's, and I think we have close to 200 coming back for that too. After the scrimmage is over, we've got lunch for them and doing it. All those things are make all this stuff worthwhile. All the work that you put in, because you want to teach them to understand no matter what year they played, they're all a fraud. And so,
Gary, a lot of focus on LJ and Ben today. What would you tell NFL teams about those two guys?
Well, I mean, I only tell them when they ask me a question. I think the biggest thing is they both got degrees, along with even Ty. They both got degrees. They both have their own different set of skill set, but I think they're really good players. I mean, they've proven in a very good league they can rush the passer, and I think and they're both guys that are good people, and so that's one of those couple of the characteristics right off the bat. Everybody knows Ben's more of a speed guy, LJ's more of a power guy, and so every team that's here today is looking at him, for probably those reasons. So.
How does that help y'all's recruiting when you can tell these recruits that you guys have success as first team Big 12 defensive ends and they're getting looked at by NFL
Well, yeah,
teams?
and last year you had an offensive lineman. Every year it's a different personnel group. Last year you had no boom. You had all 5 linemen got into camp somewhere. 2 or 3 of them got drafted. I mean, I think that's the thing that's every year that you have those players. What you ultimately want to do is you hope you have a guy at every position that's got a chance to be drafted, and that's where we started 22 years ago to where we are now. It's completely different. Everybody wants in recruiting sometimes they want to say TCU's not a big time football. It's they play against us and they understand the kind of kids, but it's facilities, the players, everybody. It's fun. The staff, which I think doesn't get enough credit. My staff, not just our full-time guys on the field, but everybody down through administration, chancellor, everybody that's been a part of board of trustees, has been a part of building everything that we have here. Here we're 22 years, and now we're putting an east side on it. And the Jumbotron's going to go almost flagpole to flagpole. It's going to be about 3 or 4 times the size of what it was before. I mean, those are the things, you just do it little by little. That's what we've been trying to get accomplished.
Gary, when you look at your defense, kind of how important is it for guys like Ben to run linebacker drills, especially when it translates to the pro?
Well, yeah, but hey, we already did that within our defense. I mean, we covered backs, we dropped, we covered tight ends. So every team's going to teach you differently. I think one of the things that they learned that the NFL really likes is we teach kids to process. We don't just teach them to go. And when they do their individual meetings, That's one of the things I think they're most impressed about is, you know, they always ask them, offense and defense, well, tell me about your defense and this play and what's going on, and what they find out is we teach more a lot of times than a lot of people do, and so, you know, we want kids, whether it's go to school, get a degree, we don't just we don't just talk that talk, we walk it, and we also in a sense as far as how the guys play and what they do, and so you know, you want the complete person when they come out. A complete person has a better chance of making it in the league a lot longer. You know, it's like trying to be a head coach somewhere for a while. You have to have a good foundation. So try to teach them a great foundation.
Do you have any Malcolm Williams in this group, guys, that you think that maybe come out here and perform today that get on these radars of NFL teams?
I don't know. You have to see. I think that's where a couple of them, you have over here Jonathan Anderson here that's, it's been in the league 4 or 5 years. I don't think he's ever made the 53-man roster. He's made the work squad, and he's been called up. He was with Chicago for 3 years. This year he was called up with Arizona. And so, they end up with no debt out of college because of their own scholarship, and they get a degree, and they can play 3 or 4 years, whatever it is. I don't know about you, but I might even had an overdraft when I came out. Anything else. So for them to have that opportunity to be ahead of the game, I think is priceless. I mean, it's what you're trying to get accomplished.
Gary, you mentioned last year you watched some Chiefs film to scout for the Tech game, but do you see the pro game transition or taking even more college concepts?
Yeah, I think everything's cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's, even in our league used to be a no tight end, throw it all over the place, and everybody's now starting to go back to tight ends. Starting to go back to where we're getting bigger. Everybody's getting bigger. Everybody's getting more physical. Everybody's doing, and so I think I think the NFL is the same way, depending on the player that comes out. I've had many questions because we played the guy from West Virginia, the guy at Ohio State, and then the guy at Oklahoma. It's 2 or 3 of the best quarterbacks they think is coming out in the draft, and so. If you're an I-back, I'd probably tell you not the guy from Oklahoma. That's what. Not that he's a great player, but he needs to be in. So I said, well, if you're not going to change your offense, then I tell you, he probably is not the guy you should draft. And so, but I've had a lot of phone calls. I probably had more phone calls about all those things of my own. Usually, I get to the general managers and all those guys here in about 2 or 3 weeks if there's a guy that got a chance to be in the top 2 rounds, and so.
Talk a little about the offense and about taking stuff from college. Do you think everything ever happen like that with defenses, and do guys want to pick your brains on that?
I think they. I don't know if it happens on defense as much as it happens on offense because they play plays, but it's. We've had a lot of people that have talked to us about well, anytime we get TCU film, then we study it because we're different than a lot of people what they do and how they do it. So.
That being said, you think the 4.25 translates most to like the Tampa 2 at the pro level, or?
Oh no, Tampa 2 is not. Tampa 2, you have to be up front, and you have to be able to get to the passer fast. It's because of all the RPOs that you're seeing people do a lot more man concepts within their zones because they got to handle all the slants and the quick, what we call pop slants, and quick things that happen with all of it. So.
How long has it been since an NFL guy at one of these guys like you got a job?
Well, I have those guys guys that are scouts that talk to us all the time about that.
About you?
Well, no, I'm talking about them coming. You're asking me about coming back to the NFL level from going back to college and coaching, or talk to me about defense or me getting a job.
Like how long has it been since maybe an NFL team approached you about a job?
Well, usually every year I talk to somebody about something. Not necessarily about a head job. Some days you don't want to be the head guy. But to be honest with you, if you ask any coaches, besides the last day of the month as a head coach, all of us that got in for the right reasons all just want to be. You'd like to just coach linebackers or safeties or D tackles or D ends because you don't have to. You just get to do what you got in the business in the first place to do, right?
So
coach practice, coach ball. In fact, yesterday was fun because I didn't call the defense yesterday. we scripted it, and I stood on the offensive side.
Is spring ball making you want to be a head coach right now? How's that going for you?
Oh, it will. I'm learning how to manage numbers is what I'm best at right now. Manage numbers. How do you get through one more practice? Our whole thing is get to next Tuesday. You get to next Tuesday with everything, then basically spring ball, even though we have a couple more, we'll start working on Purdue and Pine Bluff and whoever else that we need to get ready for. So
You had some good experience last fall, I guess. Unfortunately, doing that, just trying to get through practice.
well, yeah, I mean, but it's never been anything through anything like that. But that's, it's what you gotta figure out. That's where you find out how much somebody believes in what you do and how much your kids believe in it. For us to fight back with all the things that happened and get back to a bowl game and do all the things we did, I think it's a testament to the kind of kids we have here and the foundation within the system that we built. It's hard to do that, and our kids know that. Our chemistry right now on this team, all you can work. I mean, we got a chance to have 40 to 42 bodies in June and come August that we don't have out in spring ball. You have a little over 20 guys that are on our team right now, and then you have 20 new freshmen and transfers and grad transfers and everybody else coming in. So, I mean, that's half your scholarship team. So for us, but we're not where we need to be at either side of the ball. But as I tell people all the time, in 2014 when we put in the new offense, in the spring game we didn't even score, and that's the highest point total that we've ever been at TCU that next fall. So our whole thing is just to keep growing up guys like Plant and O'Shawn at defensive end, because we lost some really good players, and then in every other position that you see out here. And so if you can do that, you're going to have a chance to be more successful. So it's
All eyes are going to be on the quarterbacks. And have you guys had 2 scrimmages, or just 1 scrimmage so far?
2.
How have they looked in the scrimmage?
Good. I mean, it's what we ask them to do and what we're trying to get accomplished. Quarterbacks always have a lot to do with, because if you're throwing the ball and you've got 5 wide receivers out. Rager's not, he's not out in spring anymore. John Stevens didn't go yesterday, and so Tay Barber's had a great one. So it's, you have to have guys that can throw and that can catch it and do all of it. We've held Shaywell out most of everything that we've done. Darius hasn't gone through. Anderson hasn't gone through things. So it's both your starting offensive tackles. You got 4 offensive linemen out, seven offensive linemen, 4 wide receivers, 5 wide receivers that some of them didn't even start spring. So